I am speaking with Laurie Ann Giamanco and Joseph Woodbury of Adult Foster Care of the North Shore. Hi, you guys.
How you
Hi.
doing?
Tell us about Adult Foster Care of the North Shore, who you are, what you do, what services you provide.
Sure. We are an agency that provides a single service, adult foster care, and it's a service that helps people with certain personal care needs get the help that they need by a qualified caregiver, and this allows them to stay in the community. So we're actually an alternative to a more like a nursing home setting where it's more restrictive.
So your clients are really in their homes and therefore in their community, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And
The name adult foster care can be somewhat deceiving. Most of our clients actually do live at home with their own families.
okay.
Right.
And you are also providing services for the caregivers. Is that right? Important services.
Yes, yes, indeed. We provide training and support. We provide people like Lorian who go into the home each month and they can do case management. They can, our nurses check medications and can contact doctors if necessary. It's an ongoing support system.
And as I understood from your site, a caregiver can contact you 24 hours a day with questions, right?
That is correct. Our main line is once 5 o'clock comes around, it goes to one of the directors. So there's always someone available to speak with.
And tell us about your financial services. You can and resources. You can direct people to resources they may need, particularly for financial assistance, right?
That is correct. Again, folks like Lorianne, they have a lot of information regarding community resources and really how to problem solve as well. And so part of what we do is we direct folks, like you said, to different resources in the community. One big one seems to be Mass Health. Letters go out to our families regarding the need to renew. And again, folks like Lorianne spend a lot of time helping them finish that process and get it in on time.
Yeah, it's not always easy.
Tell us a little bit more about what you do, Lorianne.
Yes.
Well, it's really on a case-by-case basis. My title is care manager, and I do just that. I manage their care. Really, the caregivers themselves are providing the hands-on care to the client. And I come along and mostly support the caregiver themselves. Where are their deficits? What do you need help with? When I begin with a family, I always tell them I can be as involved as you want me to be, or I can visit the minimum once a month and kind of leave you alone. It depends on what their needs are. It's a client-centered service. So, if they need help with the Mass Health, yes, we certainly do that. I find that many times going into a home, they're already set up with most of the services they need. And then as the client's needs change, we may need to reintroduce services that they used to have, get new services on board, maybe get rid of some services because sometimes too many services can be detrimental. So that's kind of what we do.
And what is the need on the North Shore? How many families are you involved with?
Oh, we're about 370 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Personally, I think there's a lot more people out there that would benefit from our service and just don't even know. They're already providing the care to their loved one. They just don't have the support to back it up.
Well, we will make sure they get your contacts at the end of this. But tell us about what happened in the past year with COVID-19. I'm sure you were really affected by that. And your families were.
We were indeed. Lorianne, you can speak better as one who in the field, but we were indeed. We actually had several families that contracted COVID. And so they had to quarantine. During that time, we increased our contact with them. We had to change the way that we do some of our regulatory things like visits. Lorianne, why don't you talk about that?
Okay, so we did do virtual visits for a large part of that time. And then gradually reintroduced home visits. However, with that said, when we did have a family that contracted the virus and they needed supplies, they needed groceries, we would just kind of split the duty. We'd be in touch with them, by phone. And, I'd have people send me their grocery list and I'd go buy their groceries and drop it off on their doorstep. Whatever the need was, we were there to help and accommodate and get them through that time. And fortunately, most of our families did get through it. I think we did have, unfortunately, one passing. Beyond that, I would say that, the first few months of of the pandemic was rough, and a transition, but most of our clients, regardless of the fact that they were taken out of their daily routines, such as day programs and schools, continued to do okay. Beyond that, we started to see regression. And there was kind of an influx of phone calls with the families and the caregivers with concerns about how to get past this. So we kind of, readjusted our approach and looked at how we can get them into a daily routine without having the normal daily activities that they typically have.
And what did that look like?
Different for everybody. As you guys may remember, we did do an activity drive. So we did collectively purchase, and we had some donations. We put together these wonderful gift bags with puzzles and arts and crafts and books and all kinds of things, and we delivered them to our clients. And that got them through for a little while. Beyond that, when things started to open back up, once we were back in the homes, we really started to focus on how can we get this person back into the community? How can we reintegrate them into their day programs? That's a big one. And staffing has been an issue. So even though many of the day programs are reopened, they don't have the staff to meet the minimum ratio.
Right.
So, for some of the clients, that may mean increased participation with Zoom attendance, with their day programs, maybe one-on-one time. For others, it may mean routine, rides out in the community with a caregiver, in a safe space. Really, again, very client-centered approach.
Well, speaking of staffing, it's always such a joy to talk to you people at Adult Foster Care, and you always seem so upbeat. Tell us what it's like to work there.
It's a great place. We have a director that started a culture that's really others focused, and we've picked up on that and helped develop that over the years. And it's just it goes beyond team members. There are friendships. There's a lot of collaboration. There's a lot of laughing. There's a lot of care that goes into what we do. And so the staff really, really enjoy working here. Like Lorianne said, people don't leave.
People don't leave. Once you're here, you don't leave. And it's really, it's always kind of been my desire to work with families. And had I mentioned to you before we started, it took me 3.5 years to get in because people don't leave. It's a great job. It's a great group of people. We are all friends. We all do hang out outside of work, but beyond that, it's a very unique and enriching experience because you're not working, across the table from a client caregiver and you're strictly talking about one thing. You become part of each other's lives in a way. And there's been times where, for example, I have a client who is an avid reader, all she wants to do. And she does have vision issues, so she does need to use the books on audio. But she loves to visit the different libraries. And my sister happens to be a library director in Dracut. So one weekend I picked up mom and a client, and we took a little field trip. And she got a private tour and she got a library card, and that's what's fun about it. It doesn't look like work to us.
That's great. So if people are looking for your services or want to just know more about what you're doing, how can they contact you or learn more?
Yeah, the best way is there are two ways. One is to go to the website because it has all sorts of links there to contact us regarding whether or not they're just looking for information or looking for a caregiver or to become a caregiver. And secondly, they can call our office directly and speak to any of our office staff. And that number is 978-281-2612.
Great. So that is Adult Foster Care of the North Shore, a wonderful place, it seems, to work. You're always so cheerful, and it seems as if you're doing a great job in the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.